Oh my goodness, Spirit is coming through so strongly right now. And I need you to listen very carefully because what I'm about to share with you is going to shake you to your core. Someone is holding on to pain, deep pain, and they're looking at you right now, wondering if they ever truly knew you at all. They thought reconciliation was possible. They saw glimpses of the person they fell in love with, but then the walls came back up, didn't they? The coldness returned, the sharp words, the distance. And now they're sitting there feeling like you dangled hope in front of them only to snatch it away. And Spirit is saying you need to hear this because there's so much more happening beneath the surface than you realize. Before we dive into this reading, I want you to remember that only take what resonates with you. If something doesn't align with your situation, simply leave it behind. This is your reading, your journey, and you get to decide what truths speak to your soul right now. The three cards that came through for this situation are cutting straight to the heart of the matter. And honestly, when I pulled them, I had to take a breath because the energy here is so raw, so vulnerable, so filled with confusion and hurt on both sides. Let me tell you what Spirit wants you to know. The first card that came through is the Five of Cups. And oh my heart, this card is absolutely drenched in disappointment and regret. When I look at this card, I see someone standing there staring at three spilled cups, completely fixated on what's been lost, what's been broken, what didn't go the way they hoped it would. And Spirit is showing me that this is exactly how this person feels about you right now. They're looking at the ruins of what could have been, what they thought was being rebuilt between you two, and they're devastated because they truly believed you were coming back to them. They saw signs, didn't they? Maybe you smiled at them the way you used to. Maybe you had a conversation that felt like old times. Maybe there was a moment of vulnerability where the walls came down just enough for them to think that maybe, just maybe, you were ready to let them back in. But here's what Spirit wants you to understand, and this is so important. That person, they're not just sad about losing you again, they're heartbroken because they feel like you gave them permission to hope. They feel like you opened a door, let them peek inside at the possibility of reconciliation, of healing, of coming back together, and then you slam that door right in their face. And the pain of that, the confusion of that, it's eating them alive right now. They're replaying every interaction, every word, every text message, trying to figure out where things went wrong, trying to understand why you would show them softness one moment and then turn around and be cold, distant, even mean to them the next. The Spirit is showing me that your guard is up so high right now, and I need you to really hear this because there's a reason for it, and we're going to get into that. But from their perspective, from where they're standing, they don't see your protection mechanisms. They don't see you trying to keep yourself safe. What they see is someone who's being cruel, someone who's playing games with their heart, someone who's dangling reconciliation like a carrot and then pulling it away every time they get close. And whether that's your intention or not, that's the reality of how they're experiencing this situation right now. The Five of Cups is also telling me that this person is so focused on what went wrong, so consumed by the pain of this current situation that they can't even see the two cups still standing behind them. There are still possibilities here. There's still love here. There's still potential, but they're so caught up in the hurt and the confusion that they can't access it right now. They're stuck in this loop of feeling rejected by you, feeling like you built them up just to knock them down. And Spirit is saying that this energy of disappointment is creating a wall between you two that's getting thicker and thicker with every cold interaction, with every time your guard comes up and pushes them away. Now the second card, and I actually gasped when this one came through because it explains so much, is the Four of Pentacles. This card is all about holding on tight, about protection, about building walls around yourself because you're terrified of losing something or being hurt again. And Spirit is showing me that this is you right now. This is your energy. You are gripping so tightly to your sense of safety, to your emotional security, to your protected heart, that you literally cannot let anyone in, not even someone who you might actually want to reconcile with on some level. The Four of Pentacles is sitting there in a position of complete control, holding on to those pentacles for dear life. And I'm being shown that you've been hurt before, deeply hurt, maybe by this person or maybe by someone else. And you have made an unconscious decision that you will never allow yourself to be that vulnerable again. But here's what's happening, and this is where the meanness comes in. This is where the guard being up is causing so much damage. When you have your walls up this high, when you're in this Four of Pentacles energy of complete self-protection, you can't selectively let love in and keep pain out. It doesn't work that way. What ends up happening is you keep everything out, and in the process of trying to protect yourself, you end up hurting the very person who might actually be trying to reach you, trying to reconnect with you, trying to rebuild something beautiful with you. And Spirit is saying that your meanness, the coldness that they're experiencing, it's not because you don't care. It's actually the opposite. It's because you care so much that you're terrified. And when you get scared, when you feel yourself starting to open up, when you feel yourself beginning to hope for reconciliation too, you panic and you pull back and you say something cutting, or you create distance, or you act in a way that pushes them away because that feels safer than the alternative of being vulnerable and possibly getting hurt again. I'm seeing that there have been moments where you've let your guard down, where you've been softer, where you've shown glimpses of wanting reconciliation too. And in those moments, this person's hope skyrocketed. They thought, finally, we're getting somewhere. Finally, they're coming back to me. Finally, we have a chance. But then something happens inside you. Some fear gets triggered. Some old wound gets poked. Some voice in your head tells you that you're being stupid and setting yourself up for pain. And you immediately retreat back into the Four of Pentacles energy. You grab hold of your pentacles, you build the walls back up even higher, and you become cold or dismissive or mean, because that's how you reestablish your sense of control and safety. Spirit wants you to know that this person doesn't understand this pattern. They don't see the fear underneath your behavior. They just experience the whiplash of feeling like you're warm and then cold, like you're interested and then you're not, like you want them and then you're pushing them away. And it's creating this narrative in their mind that you're playing with them, that you're giving them false hope intentionally, that you're being cruel for cruelty's sake. And that's breaking their heart because they want to believe in you. They want to believe that reconciliation is possible. But every time you put your guard back up and lash out or withdraw or act mean toward them, it reinforces this story that you never really wanted them back at all. That any softness you showed was just manipulation or confusion on your part. The Four of Pentacles is also showing me something else that's really important. You're holding on to past pain so tightly that you're actually blocking your own blessings. You're so focused on not losing, on not getting hurt, on maintaining control, that you're unable to receive the love or connection that might actually be trying to come to you. And I know that feels vulnerable. I know that feels scary, but Spirit is saying that you can't build a future while you're clutching the pain of the past with both hands. Something has to give here. Either you need to make peace with the fact that you're not ready for reconciliation and communicate that clearly and kindly to this person so they can move on, or you need to do the inner work to start releasing some of these protective mechanisms so that if reconciliation is what you truly want, it can actually happen. And now we come to the third card, and I have to tell you, when this one appeared, I felt the entire energy of the reading shift because this card holds the key to everything. The third card is the Tower. And listen, I know the Tower can be scary. I know it's often seen as this catastrophic card, but in this context, Spirit is using it to show you what's about to happen if this pattern continues. The Tower represents sudden upheaval, dramatic change, the crumbling of structures that were built on unstable foundations. And Spirit is showing me that this back and forth energy, this pattern of hope, and then disappointment, of warmth, and then coldness, of possibility, and then meanness, it's building toward a tower moment. What that means is that this situation cannot continue the way it's going. Something is going to break, something is going to crumble, something is going to reach a point where it can no longer be sustained. And when that happens, it's going to be sudden and it's going to be final. Right now, this person is confused, they're hurt, they're disappointed, but there's still a part of them that's holding on, that's hoping, that's waiting for you to drop your guard and let them in. But the Tower is saying that patience has limits, hope has limits, and the human heart can only take so much inconsistency before it says enough is enough and walks away for good. I'm being shown that this person is very close to their Tower moment. They're very close to the point where they stop trying to understand your hot and cold behavior, where they stop making excuses for why you're being mean to them, where they stop hoping for reconciliation and start accepting that it's never going to happen. And when they reach that point, when their Tower falls, the structure of any possibility between you two is going to crumble with it. There won't be another chance after that. There won't be room for you to change your mind later or decide you're ready when you've processed your fear. The door will be closed, not because they don't care about you, but because they'll have finally accepted that your behavior has shown them you don't truly want reconciliation, that the false hope was too painful to keep accepting, that they deserve better than someone who's mean to them one day and kind the next. But here's the other side of the Tower. And this is where Spirit is offering you a choice, a real, genuine choice about how this unfolds. The Tower can also represent the breaking down of your own walls, the crumbling of the protective structures you built around your heart that are actually keeping you trapped rather than keeping you safe. Sometimes the Tower comes into our lives not to destroy us, but to free us from prisons of our own making. And Spirit is asking you to consider whether you're willing to let your Tower fall in a controlled way, whether you're willing to consciously dismantle some of these defense mechanisms to work through the fear that makes you pull away and act mean when you're actually feeling vulnerable and scared. If you can do that, if you can recognize that your guard being up is creating the very outcome you're most afraid of, which is losing this person and being alone, then maybe you can prevent the catastrophic Tower moment. Maybe you can choose vulnerability before the universe forces it upon you. Maybe you can have an honest conversation with this person about why you've been hot and cold, about the fear underneath your meanness, about the fact that you're struggling between wanting connection and being terrified of it. That kind of honesty, that kind of real vulnerability, it could change everything. It could help them understand that the false hope they felt wasn't intentional manipulation. It was you genuinely struggling with your own fear and trauma and protection mechanisms. But if you can't do that, if you continue to let your fear run the show, if you keep your guard up and continue to be mean to them as a way of protecting yourself, then the Tower is going to fall anyway, and it's going to take this connection down with it. And Spirit wants you to know that you'll regret that. Not immediately maybe, but eventually, when you've processed your fear and done your healing, and you're finally ready to be vulnerable, you'll look back and realize that you pushed away something real because you were too afraid to let it be real. You'll understand that your meanness wasn't protecting you, it was sabotaging you, and by then it will be too late because this person will have moved on, will have healed from the false hope you gave them, will have found peace without you. The energy I'm getting from these three cards together is so powerful because they're painting a complete picture of a situation where both people are suffering, but for different reasons. This person is suffering because they feel jerked around, because they feel like you gave them hope and then crushed it because they're experiencing your meanness without understanding the fear underneath it. And you're suffering because you're trapped between wanting connection and being terrified of it, between the possibility of reconciliation and the safety of staying guarded, between your heart's desires and your mind's protection mechanisms. And the tragedy of it all is that neither of you is really seeing the other clearly right now. They're not seeing your fear, and you're not seeing their genuine pain and confusion. Spirit is really emphasizing that time is running out for this situation. The Tower doesn't wait forever. Change is coming whether you're ready for it or not. And the only question is whether you're going to participate consciously in that change or whether it's going to happen to you. This is your opportunity to make a choice, to decide what you really want, and then to have the courage to align your behavior with that want instead of letting fear make all your decisions for you. So I want you to sit with this reading for a moment and really let it sink into your heart. I want you to feel into the truth of what Spirit has shown us here today, because This is one of those pivotal moments in your life where the choice you make right now is going to ripple out and affect your future in ways you can't even imagine yet. This person feels like you gave them false hope. They feel confused and hurt by your meanness, by the walls you keep putting up. And Spirit is saying that you're standing at a crossroads where you get to decide how this story ends. You can continue down the path you're on, holding tight to your guard, letting fear dictate your actions, pushing this person away with coldness and mean behavior every time you start to feel something real. And if you do that, the tower is going to fall and this connection is going to crumble, and you're going to be left wondering what could have been if only you'd had the courage to be vulnerable. Or you can choose differently. You can acknowledge the fear. You can recognize that your protection mechanisms are actually hurting you more than helping you. And you can take a brave step toward honesty, toward real communication, toward letting this person see the scared human underneath all that armor you're wearing. I'm not saying reconciliation is guaranteed if you drop your guard. I'm not saying that everything will magically work out if you just open your heart. What I am saying is that you owe it to yourself and to this person to stop sending mixed signals, to stop giving hope, and then snatching it away, to stop being mean as a defense mechanism, when what you really need is to be honest about what you're feeling and what you're afraid of. Whether that honesty leads to reconciliation or to a clean, clear ending, either outcome is better than this painful dance you're doing right now, where nobody wins and everyone gets hurt. Spirit wants you to know that you are worthy of love, even with all your fear, even with all your walls, even with all the ways you've protected yourself from pain. But you're also being called to grow beyond those old patterns, to recognize when your survival mechanisms have outlived their usefulness and are now keeping you stuck rather than keeping you safe. This is your tower moment, your opportunity to tear down what no longer serves you and rebuild something stronger, something more authentic, something built on truth instead of fear. I hope this reading has given you clarity, has helped you see the situation from both sides, has shown you that your behavior is having an impact you might not have fully realized. Only you know what's in your heart. Only you know whether reconciliation is something you truly want, or whether you're just afraid of being alone. But whatever the truth is, honor it, speak it. Stop leaving this person in limbo. Stop giving false hope if you're not ready or willing to follow through. And if you do want reconciliation, then do the work to make yourself available for it, instead of sabotaging it every step of the way. The cards have spoken, Spirit has delivered the message, and now the rest is up to you. Trust yourself, trust the process, and remember that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is admit we're scared and ask for help, ask for patience, ask for understanding instead of hiding behind meanness and walls. You've got this, and whatever you decide, I'm sending you so much love and light as you navigate this incredibly challenging situation. Thank you for allowing me to read for you today, and I truly hope you find the clarity and courage you need to move forward in whatever way is right for your soul. Take care of yourself. Be gentle with your heart, and remember that healing is always possible when we're willing to face our truth.